1 FM. Around the world, we're streaming live on 3news.com. My name is Kwaning. Top of the stories this are anti-corruption crusade that welcomes Ghana's new anti-corruption action plan and Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) to meet Traders Association over new tariff prices. And much later, 10 suspected Nigerian commercial service workers arrested at Sefri Shran. We have details of these and more coming up shortly. Just stick and stay with us. My name is Josh Kwaning. It's always a pleasure bringing the news updates on to our very first story. The New Patriotic Party (NPP) has referred former presidential aspirant and Asin Central stalwart Kennedy Ohini Japan to a National Disciplinary Committee following a series of petitions filed against him over recent public comments deemed detrimental to party unity and cohesion. The committee has 2 weeks to investigate the petitions and submit its recommendations. National Youth Organizer Henry Nana Wachi announced this after the party's NEC meeting held on Thursday. Kennedy Japan in recent times have criticized some decisions taken by the NPP while in government, including its inability to complete the Afari military hospital and also threats by him to spill the beans if he is silenced in the party. Another co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption says the new anti-corruption plan will tackle the gaps that existed in previous corruption plans which failed to live up to its expectations. The National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Action Plan, NIACAP, 2026 to 2030 is Ghana's first year strategic blueprint aimed at combating systematic corruption and restoring public trust in governance. Managed directly under the Office of the President, it builds on previous frameworks with a heavier focus on ethical values, enforcement, and cultural change. Take a listen to Adam Sinano.
This was a very long process. All the various anti-corruption agencies, state ones, the partners, the UN agencies in corruption were all on board to create it. And we looked at the gaps, which included the lack of dedicated funding, the lack of an emphasis on the issue of ethics and integrity. I think that it builds very well on the gaps we identified and looks at how we can inculcate much more strongly issues of ethics right from, the educational system. It looks at how we could deal with issues of fraud and corruption.
Adam Sinano is the co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption. And now the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, says reasons ascribed by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) after tariff hikes do not support the situation on the ground. GUTA is therefore demanding a reduction in tariff hikes. The PURC had announced that electricity prices are increasing by 3.49% and water tariffs are rising by 0.85% effective July 1, 2026. President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Clement Boateng, said a formal meeting is scheduled between GUTA and PURC.
And if you do a true assessment of the reasons that they have given, you can say that it doesn't reflect the true situation of what we have. We have had a relatively good stability of our currency for some time now. Well, we have not had any opportunity to meet PURC. I must commend the executive secretary of PURC. He has called me. He has called me this afternoon and wants to, engage me either tomorrow or a Monday to try and see how best we could, find a solution.
Clement Boateng is the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association in GUTA. And now Explorco, the exploration arm of GNPC, is set to begin onshore drilling in the Volscian Basin before the end of 2026 as part of efforts to explore oil reserves in an area identified as having significant petroleum potential. That's according to President Mahama. Speaking at a ceremony to cut the sod for phase 2 of the Central Oil Refinery project, the president said the expansion will increase the refinery's production capacity from 40,000 to 100,000 barrels per day.
I'm also happy to report that Explorco, which is the operating arm of GNPC, is poised to begin onshore drilling in the Volscian Basin before the end of this year. And when I say onshore, it means on land, offshore. So far, all our discoveries have been offshore in the sea. We've discovered a lot of potential onshore. And so GMPC is going to, through Exploco, start drilling wells to explore that oil before the end of this year. The research is about repositioning Ghana from a nation that primarily exports raw materials to one that processes, manufactures, refines, and creates value within its own borders.
John Dramani Mahama is the president of the Republic of Ghana. And now the minority has accused the government of contempt of court, alleging that it delayed the custodial sentence of Sedina Tamakula Tienu and took her into prison custody on June 24, 2026, 15 days after she was extradited to Ghana. A member of the Legal Affairs Committee, Nana Ej Bafwe, says Sedina did not begin serving her 10-year prison sentence until 24th June, after a public demand for her whereabouts.
She went in under protest because her assurance was that they were not going to have her go into prison custody and that they were going to work around the clock to have the decision overturned so that she will have her liberty. It is only because of the public pressure that the government has decided to deliver her into prison custody. By preventing her from serving the prison term for the 15 days that she has been in Ghana, government has interfered with a lawful order of a court of competent jurisdiction, and that is contempt of court. And the government will only do that because Madam Sedinam Tamaklo is one of its own.
Nana Ej Bafwe is a member of the Legal Affairs Committee of the Minority. And now, of Parliament. And now, a potentially catastrophic infrastructure failure is unfolding at Sekendi's Albert Busumtwe Fishing Harbour, where one of the high voltage transmission pylons evacuating power from the car power ship to the national grid may collapse due to severe erosion and repeated mudslides. The alarming development comes just days after a fire outbreak within the harbour enclave. Eroma Smith has more in the flow report.
Continuous heavy rains in Sekendi have triggered extensive slope failures along the stretch from the main entrance of the Albert Bosomtwe Fishing Harbour towards the operational zone of the car power ship and grid co-installations. Large sections of earth supporting one of the steel lattice transmission towers have been washed away, leaving portions of the tower's foundation dangerously exposed. The situation has become so precarious that sections around the structure have already been cordoned off following an earlier mudslide. A close inspection of the site shows significant disturbance around the tower base, with the natural embankment that previously provided lateral support to the foundation gradually disappearing due to erosion. This will significantly increase the risk of differential settlement and structural tilt, conditions that can result in sudden collapse under sustained wind or conductor tension loads. Residents, fisherfolk, and workers within the harbour enclave fear that another intense rainfall event similar to that experienced last week could trigger a major slope failure, undermining the remaining support structure and causing the transmission tower to buckle under its own weight. An unnamed source at the Albert Bosomtwe Fishing Harbour told TV3 News that repeated warnings and emergency alerts had allegedly been issued to both Gridco and car power ship over the deteriorating slope conditions long before the peak of the rainy season.
And that was a report filed by my colleague Eroma Smith. Before we part company, 10 supposed Nigerians have been arrested by the BBNE police for allegedly engaging in commercial sex work at Chirano in the BBNE and Huasubekwa municipality of the Western North region. Speaking to the 3 News, the municipal coordinator of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, Dr. ASP Evelyn Ainati Itamke, confirmed the arrest and disclosed that the suspect admitted they had voluntarily traveled to Ghana to engage in the activity. ASP Itamke explained that prostitution is contrary to the laws of Ghana and indicated that the police are collaborating with the Ghana Immigration Service to facilitate the repatriation of the suspects to their home country. She further cautioned landlords and property owners against renting out their premises for criminal activities. On that note, we end the morning news. Before we go look again at our top stories, and Anti-Corruption Crusader welcomes Ghana's new anti-corruption action plan. Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) to meet Traders Association over new tariff prices. 10 suspected Nigerian commercial service workers arrested at Treasury Chiran. My name is George Quinn. For more news updates, just log on to our website, s3news.com. It's always a pleasure coming away.